So the intro of Footloose, I want you to listen to a cue done by one of the electric guitar parts. They play this. As soon as you hear that, the first time I want you to get your fingers set up on D major. Because when they play it again, right afterwards you're going to play D major and A major. So you're going to hear bum bum bum. Get your fingers set up on D major, because the very next time it happens, D, A, and bum bum bum, D, A, and bum bum bum, D, A, and that sets you right away for the verse. So you're only going to play that D, A 3 total times. As soon as you're done with that third time, stay on A, because that's the very first chord of the verse. So one more time. Get your fingers set up on D, 2, 3, again. D, A, and D, A, and D, A, and A right away for the verse. As I mentioned in the last clip, coming out of the intro, you're going to want to stay on A, because that's the very first chord of the verse. So you're going to play D, A, and then A, leading you into the verse. Now, the lead singer is going to be singing a line, and then we strum D, A at the tail end of those lines. So it goes like this. Been working so hard, I'm punching my card. I think you get the idea. So again, this is coming out of the intro. We're going D, A, and A. Been working so hard. D, A, I'm punching my card. D, A, 8 hours. For what? D, A, oh, tell me what I got. And that's going to lead us into the pre-chorus. Before we do the pre-chorus, just one thing to point out. You're noticing that I'm doing a palm mute on the guitar at the end of my A major chord when I strum D and A. That's because these are supposed to be very quick, what we call staccato, or very short sounding notes. So it goes D, A, and then mute your guitars. Going into the pre-chorus, we start off with a D major chord. I've got this feeling. Now, you'll notice that in your sheet music, D isn't written again, but it doesn't have to be. You're going to strum D again. That time's just holding me down. Same thing, A is only written one time, but that doesn't mean you only strum it once. You're going to strum it in what we call whole notes, so every 4 beats. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that sets us back into the next line, which is I'll hit the ceiling. Before we do that, let's just go back through that. The pre-chorus from D major. I've got this feeling that time's just holding me down. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go into the next line. D major. I'll hit the ceiling. D sharp diminished chord. I gave you guys 2 options for this. First option is you play it with your ring finger on the bottom string 2nd fret. Your middle finger is going to skip a string and go up to the 3rd string 2nd fret. If you put your pointer finger down on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, this is what we call a D diminished chord. I'm sorry, D7. Some of you have learned that chord, and the D sharp diminished is very, very similar. Now all I have to do is change this open D string right here. I have to make that sharp. So that means I have to fret the 1st fret of that string. But obviously I was already using my pointer finger, so that means I have to do like a little baby bar. And that's that D sharp diminished chord. Okay? The other option would be to use your pinky so you don't have to bar. It would go pinky, skip a string, ring, and then on the 2nd string, 1st fret is where you put your middle finger, skip a string with your pointer here, and then go on the D string on the 1st fret. Now you notice every single time I'm strumming this, I'm starting from this 4th string going down. We don't want to get any E, none of that stuff. It's going to sound kind of funny if you do that. So one more time, I'm going to do it both ways. You have D major, I'll hit the ceiling, or else I'll tear up this town, and we're going to pause right there. Back to D major, I'll hit the ceiling, or else I'll tear up this town. Now on your sheet music, you're going to see it say E, F sharp, G, G sharp. And this is where a lot of you guys had some questions. So basically what you play is an E major chord. Now just note in the sheet music, I did not be specific with these names. I just wrote it just to save some space as E, F sharp, G, and G sharp. Just know that these chords have different names. This is an E major for sure, but the other ones we're not going to talk about just in this video. It'd take too long. So I'm going to show you the shapes. Here's E major. Take your middle finger off, and I want you to slide up both your ring finger and your pointer finger up 1 fret, but then let your ring finger go 1 more fret over. And what that does is create a space here. Once you have that space and your pointer finger is on the 2nd fret while your ring finger is on the 4th fret, give that a strum from the 4th string down. Slide both fingers up 1 fret. That's going to be your G. Slide them up a fret again. That's going to be G sharp. And that's a cut, so we're going to mute right away. So make sure you guys have your ring finger on the 4th string and your pointer finger on the 3rd string. They shouldn't be traveling around or flip-flopping at all. So it really all starts off with this E major. Once you have that, middle finger comes off and get into that starting position here for that F sharp. Slide for G, slide for G sharp, and mute. Now to make this harder, what you can do is add an up pick on E and B in between every single one of those chords. So it goes E major, up, up, F sharp, up, up, G sharp, up, up, and G up, up, and G sharp. One more time. E, F sharp, G, G sharp. So the chorus is easy enough. Basically what you're going to do is follow a simple pattern. It's going to go A, D, A, D, and A. Then you do it again. A, D, A, D, then A. You're going to do that a total of, I believe, let's see, 3 times. You're going to do it 3 times, and then on the 4th it gets a little different. So let's just practice doing that first part. So we have, now I gotta cut loose, foot loose, kick off the Sunday shoes, please, Louise, pull me off of my knees, Jack, get back, come on before we crack. Now here's that different one. It goes A, D, A, G major, D major, and A. So it goes lose your blues, everybody cut foot loose. And then that sets us into the next verse, played exactly the same way as the verse above it. So if you need help on that verse, just go back a little ways into the video and re-go over the verse, how we play that. Alright, so we're going to go and cover the instrumental and the refrain at the exact same time. Reason being is we don't play anything during the instrumental. In your sheet music it's going to say stay on A. That's actually a note for the bass players. So one thing that I made a little mistake on in the sheet music that I gave you guys is that I put A at the front end of the line. It actually should be at the tail end of the line. So you're going to hear the singer sing first, and then just like in the verses, we strum at the end. So it's going to go, you got to turn me around and A, and put your feet on the ground and A. Gotta take the hold of all. Now if you're paying attention just then to your sheet music, you would have noticed we skipped that 3rd A. So just scratch that off if you can, or take a mental note not to strum that last A, and that brings us right away into that E major to E7. We play E major just for one count of 4, or 1 bar. As soon as we do that, we take our ring finger off, and that's how you play E7. And it says to play that for 6 bars. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we play E7 for 6 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, stop. You're going to hear him doing during that part, and that's kind of your vocal cue there. So let's just run through that real quick. You've got to turn me around and A, and put your feet on the ground and A. Gotta take the hold of all. E, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4 again, 2, 3, 4 again, 2, 3, 4 again, 2, 3, 4 again, 2, 3, 4. I lost count, but let's say one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm turning loose, or I'm turning it loose, whatever he says. That brings us back into the chorus. Okay, so we're going to cover the chorus and the ending all in one shot. Basically, the chorus, it does 2 choruses in a row. That's why it looks a little bit longer there. But we still do the same exact pattern. It goes from I'm turning loose, foot loose, kick off the Sunday shoes. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward for time's sake. Go ahead and pick up on that 4th line where it says loose your noose, everybody cut foot loose. So it goes loose your noose, here's that G major, everybody cut foot loose. Now if you want to, you can stay just on A there and strum it again, foot loose, and then kick off the Sunday shoes. But you'll notice that kind of breaks away from that pattern we've been using. So if you want, you can stay with the pattern by going loose your noose, everybody cut foot loose, and then strum another D-A before going to D, kick off the Sunday shoes. And then it picks up the same from there. Please, Louise, pull me off of my knees, Jack, get back, come on before we crack. That brings us to the ending. It goes loose your blues, lose your blues. Now here's the part that's been throwing people off. We strum G major and D major at the tail end of the lines. It goes everybody cut, G, D, everybody cut, G, D. The next one is just a D, and you'll notice I put an exclamation mark there, right on top of the word cut. And that's because we literally strum D major and cut on the word cut. So it sounds a little different. That last one goes everybody cut, One more time. From the very first one. Everybody cut, Everybody cut, Everybody cut. Everybody cut. Now on this next part, we play nothing. Everybody cut foot loose. And you're going to hear that guitarist do the same thing again. Bow, bow, bow. And you're going to see it say D-A-A. Yes, that is all we do, and we cut on that last A. It's going to be kind of weird sounding because we're used to ending songs big on A, but not this one. So that last line goes, everybody cut foot loose. D-A-A. Now I remember anytime I do this, you do not play that. That's just me giving you that lead vocal cue. So one more time, whole thing, just that ending section. It goes, loose your blues, everybody cut, G-D, everybody cut, G-D, everybody cut, foot loose, D-A-A. And that covers the entire song.